Hi hair friends, this is Tanya Ramirez at Untamed Instinct, and if you already follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that earlier this year I started exploring and custom creating a lot of nude tones. I'm really kind of fascinated with the idea of creating these, tone on tone, almost like an invisible hair kind of contrast. So today I'm just going to give you a little rundown of how I create a core nude color and then kind of break it down from there, how you can take it lighter, how you can take it darker, how you can warm it up or cool it down. I mean, it's basic color wheel stuff. But I thought it would be a really interesting thing to explore and kind of show you what the colors look like. Like many direct dye processes, everything is very much like what you see is what you get. But you also do have to keep in mind that if you're doing a nude tone, which tends to be a pretty delicate tone, then you definitely want to compensate for whether the base that you're working off of is exceptionally warm or exceptionally cool. Typically when you're going to pre-light in a whole head, then your base is going to pull a lot warmer than any previously highlighted or lightened mid shaft or ends. So you're going to want to create a base tone that's a bit cooler, maybe more silver or ash or blue based, and you're going to create a second formula or a third formula, even depending on how much dimension you want, for your mid shaft and ends, which is either more neutral, or in some cases, if the hair has been pre-lighted too much and you want some sort of warmth or brightness or reflection, then you actually have to go back in and reintroduce golden tones. Otherwise the hair will look dull and matte and ashier than expected, and that can result in a really drab and a darker than desired results. So then you end up with kind of warmer, brighter base and a cooler mid shaft and ends, which isn't typically ideal. I mean, you really have to know how to kind of blend that to make that work. So today I'm going to show you, again, I'm going to break down a little bit about how I create just like a mid-tone of the nudes and how you can take it lighter and how you can take it darker. Today I'm working with Joico Color Intensity, and what I've done is I've mixed a little bit of a magenta and an orange, and that I'm going to dilute to get sort of a pinky peachy color. Whether you have pink undertones, yellow, olive undertones, golden undertones. Again, what we want to create here is one neutral that we can then go in and add either our cooler tones, our golden tones, or our pinkier tones. Okay, so what I have here, again, I mixed a little bit of pink or magenta and orange. And all I'm going to do is I just have my favorite just total creamy white conditioner on the side, and I'm just going to add a little tiny bit to that. Generally what I do is I mix two formulas. So I have like my warm tones and my cool tones, and then when I'm happy with how those look, then I bring them together. So this will generally be like a core base, and I'll add the cool tones to it right now. Right now this is too pink, so I want to add a little bit of orange. You can add some yellow to it because I really kind of want more of a peach color. Once I have a peach that I like, in this case, that's a really nice peach in my opinion. I like that very much. I've pre-mixed a different formula here. This is, again, Joico Color Intensity. I've got some silver titanium in here, and I think there's a little dollop of black pearl, which is actually blue based. Now, if you don't have black pearl, you can probably also use a little bit of sapphire. That's going to give you a slightly deeper tone. It will also help it cool it down. So I'm gonna right now mix it about 1:1. Finding the right ratio that works for you for the tone that you want to create for the individual that you're creating for. I've been asked lately by a few people, well, what is nude hair? Well, first of all, you're going to definitely be seeing nude hair color trends popping up more and more, whether it's celebrities or other hairdressers, friends talking about it, who knows. I definitely feel like it's the next big emerging trend, and I think it's kind of in contrast to all the vibrant pigmented hair, which I absolutely do create and absolutely love. But I think somehow there's a bit of a desire for exploration of natural tones, which in the past have just been blondes, brunettes, redheads. But I think this is sort of bridging the gap, fusing the space between natural and unnatural, and I think that's where sort of nude hair color falls under. Nude hair color isn't just one color. It is yellow, and it is pink, and it is brown, and it is gray, and it is silver, and it's both warm and cool, and it exists in a very, very finite space and spectrum that our eye can understand, but we can't easily translate into words. When we see it, we're like, whoa, what's that color? I equate it to when you sort of mix hot cocoa, and you mix hot cocoa and you expect it to just be brown, like the brown cocoa powder, but it actually has like some warmth to it. There's some pink and kind of purple tones in there, and again, it's almost like an indescribable color, and I feel like that's where nude lies. So here are the nude tones that I just created. I used Joico Color Intensity. This is the mid-tone that I used to create all of these. So I took this mid-tone and basically I added some conditioner to it to dilute it, and then I mixed these two together to create this. Then what I did is I actually added some more silver and the black pearl formula that I had to this. I used this to create this by adding more orange to it. Then I took this formula and I actually added a little bit more magenta, orange, and of the titanium and black pearl formula. And so then to create this, I took this formula and then I added even more of the titanium black pearl formula along with just some straight magenta to take it even darker. So there you have 7 shades that you can work from. You can custom intermix it again. Hey hair friends, so here we're gonna just take a core nude color and we're gonna mix in some stuff. I'd like to just have you see the change that actually occurs. So this is all the same nude tone, and what I've done here is I've just got a drop of magenta. This just has a bit of orange. This is the titanium silver, and this has everything. This has titanium silver, a black pearl, a bit of blue, a bit of magenta, and a bit of orange. So what this is going to get us is going to give us a richer, pinkier nude tone. This is going to give us a warmer, sort of tan taupe kind of color. This should yield a deeper, almost like a cool toned, like sable-y color. This will probably have a little bit of a violet-y undertone as well, which again, whenever we're working with any of the direct pigments, we're basically working on pre-lightened hair. So we're always going to have an element of yellow to have to either enhance or neutralize. So when you formulate these nude tones, it's important again to keep in mind and to consider what sort of base you're working off of. Are you working off of newly lightened hair, which is going to reveal a lot of warmth, or are you working on pre-lightened hair, which may have little to no yellow in it, and then in that case you're going to have to introduce the warmth back into it to get a nice reflective color. So that's where you might have to use a combination of these. So I might choose this for my base to kind of neutralize my warmth, and then I might pull this through the mid shaft and the ends. I might combine these two colors to give it a little bit of again, of a blushy hue depending on what I'm looking for. So just so you can see. Those magentas are really, really potent, so I only used a tiny bit and already it's like very pinky. But that's all right. And then here for our orange, again, this is so fun. This is gonna give you a really nice, you know, golden, tan, taupe hue. This one here, I guess we get that deeper cool tone, like a silver beige. And this last one, again, I've mixed a little bit of everything. So I know that the magenta is going to be super potent, so I've only had a little tiny bit. I know I want an element of warmth to balance out that pink, so I've added in almost like 2 to 1, the orange to the magenta, just a tiny drop of the sapphire blue, a bit of silver, and a bit of the black pearl. Again, the black pearl is a blue based, so what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for all of the tones to be really much deeper and richer than this as we're combining all of them together. Again, that magenta really, really overpowers, doesn't it? So this shows me that I actually have to add a lot more orange than I originally expected. That's all right, we've got some extra there. And so what I'm going to do now, this is nice and orange. This is a fun example. You can see exactly how this changes. We're going to take some silver. And a little bit of black pearl. And again, if you remember, the black pearl is a blue base, so this is going to be a nice neutralizing effect for the orange, since orange and blue cancel each other out. Just wanted to show you again a little bit of the things you can do. Say you decided that this pink was too pink. You want a little bit more of a neutral with a little bit of that pink undertone. Again, you can just add some silver and some orange, and let me get my pinky brush. And you can just add that right into your mix. And again, this is why I like to work with a core color. Here, I'll bring it here. This is probably the tone that I would work off of. But again, if you work off of a tone that has really nice elements of pink and orange, it's got that right amount of warmth and depth, then you can always take it lighter, take it darker, warm it up, cool it down, but at least it's a neutral color, if you will, to start with. And then you can go ahead and play with it. I mean, these are all really lovely. I'd love to, you know, kind of, if I needed to mix these two up together, this would be like such a beautiful sort of sable-y. I mean, I already love what that looks like there. And if you needed to combine, again, this yellowy golden undertone, we need to combine some silvery tones with some warmer tones, you know. We've got sort of like a camel-y color here. I mean, I absolutely love what this does. You get this like a beautiful neutral sandy sandstone, you know, really beautiful beige. I'll show you a little bit so you can. So I invite you to explore and create using this spectrum of nude tones that you can create with any direct dye pigments of your choosing. And I'd love to see your work, so be sure to tag me in your creations. I'm at Untamed Instinct. Now I'm going to demonstrate what these nude tones actually look like. I've taken this blonde hair weft. This is just clip-in extensions. But since these are direct dyes, you'd more than likely be working off of pre-lightened hair. A level 7 or up. A lot of these can work on, especially the cooler tones. Do a great job of neutralizing any warmth. And we're going to just be applying again these. Right now I have an array of 7 nude tones, but again, you can customize and custom create these however you desire to complement your client's needs and their skin tone. So I'm going to start by applying these just straight onto this dry hair weft. Obviously these lighter tones are super delicate. So for these, maybe the first couple, I would more than likely work off of a pre-lightened level 9 or 10. The other tones you can definitely work off of a level 7. And if you got more silver or more cool tones in here, then a lot of the time, as I mentioned, you can neutralize a lot of warmth that may be present in a level 7 or 8. So here we have our second color. This is our third nude tone. Here's our fourth nude tone. Here's our fifth tone. Here is our sixth nude tone. Okay, and here we have our seventh nude tone.